Wait all summer for the start of college football. We got a little bit of a taste last week with, I guess, week zero, whatever they want to call it. The head coach of your TCU Horned Frogs, Sonny Dykes, join us here at 105 to the Fan. Morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing great. It's a great week. We wait all summer for this one. How's life changed for you in the past, year?
Well, it's changed. Everything happened pretty fast last year. We felt like going into the year we had a chance to have a good football team. I don't know that we thought we were going to play for a national championship. And so, our players did a great job last year, had a lot of leadership, won a lot of close games, ended up, playing for a title. And, I think that raised the expectations of our program. I think they were already high. That's a big part of the reason I came to TCU is the success that they had in the past and the investment and all the things. But they certainly raised the expectations, and it's been a fun year. I mean, it really has been. We've had, it's the TCU is a great place. The city of Fort Worth really rallied behind us, and it was a lot of fun. Now we just got to go figure out a way to go do it all over again.
I was reading up all last couple of weeks, and I'm trying to find this year's TCU, because you guys were picked 7th to finish in the conference last year, and it kind of hit me like maybe TCU is this year's TCU. Like, are you seeing like any kind of similarities to being overlooked last year, and the quarterback you have beat out Max to start the season last year anyway?
Honestly, we've kind of said that at times this year that we'd like to kind of be the next TCU and do it again. I think the assumption is when you play a lot of close games like we did, and you lose a player like Max and a player like Kendre Miller, our running back, and Quentin Johnston, and some pretty good players. The assumption is you're not going to replace them with players on the same caliber. We think that we're going to be a different team. I think a little. We have a lot of experience coming back on defense. We've got much more depth on this team than we had last year. We didn't have much depth at all in last year's team, and we got a lot of depth, a lot of competition, a lot of really good players. The only difference is they haven't really played much. And so, we think that we have an opportunity to have a good team. We've got some really good transfers, and I think all the guys are different and unique in terms of their skill set and what they bring to our team. We've got good leadership. I think we're strong up front on the line of scrimmage on both defense and offense, which is always probably the most important thing. And so, we're going to have some guys maybe that haven't done it before do it, but we certainly think they're capable. And so we're excited about this year's team. I think it's going to be a very exciting team to watch. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of speed. This is probably the fastest football team that I've ever had an opportunity to coach. And so, should be an interesting team to watch.
Coach, you mentioned there that you guys have a lot of exciting transfers. That's, in large part, I think, highlighted by those 3 big transfers that you guys got from Alabama, including Trey Sanders, who hopefully is going to really fill a void now that you guys have lost your 2 leading rushers from last year. But, did you find, or how quick did you find that with the success you guys had last year and some of the big games you guys had beating ranked opponents on the way to the national title, how fast did you find that some of these transfers like got a really healthy new interest in Fort Worth and coming out there and playing for the Horned Frogs?
Yeah, that certainly has changed. Having that kind of success last year has helped tremendously in recruiting. It's opened a lot of doors for us and allowed us to, in particular with transfers, allowed us to, have an opportunity to bring in some guys that we probably would not have had a chance to bring in the past just because of the success. And guys, are coming here to play in big games. Guys are coming here to play for championships. Guys are coming here to play in front of sold-out stadiums and, and on big noon kickoff like we have this week. And, we're probably going to set the all-time attendance record at TCU this Saturday. And so, there's a lot of exciting things going on. But I think the biggest reason the guys come here is because when they come to TCU on a visit, they really like being here. They like our players. They like our coaches. They like the culture we have in the program. And I think they see themselves playing, here. And I think that's a big part of the success that we've had recruiting.
You know, Chandler Morris is the guy at quarterback in the season. He got hurt at the beginning of last year. And then obviously Max Duggan, goes on the run with you guys that he did and is a Heisman contender and becomes one of the big stories of college football. Now that heading back into this season, what did you see from him in terms of that had to be difficult to not be part of that run, to think you were going to step in, be part of that special team last year, and then you got to kind of watch from the sidelines. What have you noticed about him this offseason and how he's grown and prepares to enter this year?
Yeah, I think he's a completely different approach. A person has a different approach. He seems much more mature, much more confident. I think he realizes, after watching Max last year, Max made some critical plays in some big situations in games. But what he really did a great job of was not turning the football over, distributing the ball to guys who can make plays, and really playing winning football, not getting caught with the ball, not taking sacks, all the things that good quarterbacks do. Max did a really good job at doing that. And I think Chandler had a chance to sit back and watch him and learn and realize that, hey, look, I don't have to go out there and force a million things to happen. I can let the game come to me a little bit. I can do a good job getting the ball to guys that can make plays and let them go do what they can do. And so, I think that was a big opportunity for Chandler, just to sit back and watch it all unfold. And then he had to learn how to watch a guy deal with adversity by losing a job like Max did, and then, having all the success that he had and all the notoriety he got, and, on the way to the Heisman Trophy. And so I think it was a great opportunity for Chandler to learn a lot from Max and, just learn a lot how important it is to be steady as a quarterback and not get too high, not get too low, and, just all the things that are really important.
TCU football coach Sonny Dykes joins us here, 105 through the Fan. This is an interesting game this week, obviously, with Colorado. How do you prepare for a team? Because usually, first game of the year, you can go back and look at last year's tape, see last year's player. This is like an expansion team. New coach, 70 new players. Like, how do you prepare for a team like this?
Yeah, openers are always tough. Openers with new coaches are even tougher. Openers with new coaches and a completely different team are really tough. And so it's we haven't even bothered watching the Colorado game from last year. That's something that none of us have even watched, just because there's so few players that played in that game for Colorado. They're going to play in this game. And so obviously new schemes, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new special teams coordinator. So we spent a lot of time going back and watching the offense that those guys coached at the previous institutions. And you can do that, and that helps. That gets you ready. But then you don't know how Colorado's personnel is going to fit into those schemes, and how are they going to be able to adapt. And so there's really a lot of unknowns going into this game. I think in some ways that helps us. And what I mean by that is the focus has just been on us. The focus has been on, making sure that we're prepared and ready to play, making sure that we play hard, making sure that we play physical. We do the things in early games that are really important. We win the turnover margin. We don't give up any big plays on special teams. All those things are always important in ball games, but they're especially important in early season games.
In the same, kind of stance that not necessarily with Colorado, is it fun to go up against new teams and not see the same teams every year? Like, you got Houston and BYU, you're going to have Arizona, the Four Corner schools coming in. I know it's fun for fans. Is it fun for coaches, or is it kind of like you'd rather face teams
I think it's always the same thing. I mean, it's easier when you've played them a little bit. The preparation's probably, you have a comfort level associated with that, just knowing the style of play and knowing some of the coaches and the decisions they like to make in some critical situations. But I'm like you. It is kind of exciting to watch our conference take shape and see these new teams coming in and have a chance to kind of figure out what they're all about. And so I think it's going to be good for the fans of Big 12 teams, because you think about it, I mean, the conference has changed a ton here recently. And, we're basically added 8 teams in the last 2 years, lost 2. And so it's kind of been a complete reshuffling of the league. Half of the Big 12 has changed in the last 2 years. And so it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. There's a lot of unknowns, and it's going to be interesting to see the league take shape.
You guys are returning a number of key guys in the secondary for you. Bud Clark, Mark Perry, Josh Newton. How critical is it going to be for your front seven to step up for you guys this year?
It's always important. I mean, that's where football games are won and lost, is up front. Yeah, the skill players are the ones that always get all the attention, and you know, everybody knows how important the quarterback position is. But those games are won, you know, up front, and they always have been. They always will be. I mean, they are in 7th grade. They are in the NFL, and so it's going to be important for us to play well up front. We've got much more depth in our defensive front than we had last year. You know, we're bigger, we're stronger, we're faster, we have more guys. You know, we returned some really good players at linebacker. Losing D. Winters hurts, but you know, we've had some guys step up and have really have stepped into his role and have done a fantastic job. We've got 3 of the 4 returning starters on the back end. So we feel good about our defense. We think it's going to be a physical unit. We're going to get tested. I mean, Colorado's we got a lot of speed. They added some guys through the transfer portal that can really run. I think that the strength of their team is probably going to be their team speed. And so when you play against guys that can really run, you got to do a good job of making sure you're in the right place so you don't give up a bunch of big plays. We got to pursue the ball well. We got to tackle. We got to be really physical. So I'm excited about our group up front. You know, they're always the ones that provide the toughness and the leadership in your program, and I like our guys.
TCU head football coach Sonny Dykes joining us here on Shan and RJ on 105 through the Fan. Coach, last question for you here, or an opportunity, not even a question, a statement, I guess. You know, it's 7:35 right now here in DFW. A lot of families in the cars. DFW obviously a hot spot as they head to school for you know, high school football and an intense recruiting area. So what would your pitch be to anybody that's maybe sitting in the car right now listening, a high school football player, a top recruit? What would your pitch be for them to stay home, play football in Fort Worth for the next 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about playing here at TCU, you can do it in front of your friends and family right down the road. You can play for championships. You can get a fantastic education. The students that go to TCU, they love going to school here. It's a great place to go to school. It's a very customer-friendly school, and they do a great job taking care of their students. You know, we've got everything that we need to have a championship football program here. And so a lot of kids sometimes get caught up in the bright lights and leave and go a long way away from home to go to school. But, you know, they can stay here and they can get a fantastic education, have a great experience, and play for championships. And I think that's what our program's all about. You know, we talk to it all the time. We want to be more about the steak and less about the sizzle. And, you know, we want to do a great job of focusing on what's important. And that's our guys having a great experience, getting a great education, and winning a bunch of football games. And that's what we think we're going to do here at TCU.
Coach, we really appreciate the time. Best of luck this year. We'll talk to you as the year goes on. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate y'all.